Welcome to another episode of Racing to Learn. We are a nonprofit that uses radio control to get kids excited about math and science. And we're back in the garage here today taking another look at Project T-Maxx. So this was originally a nitro car once again, so gas, nitro powered, and we converted it over to clean running electricity with a brushless setup from Hobbywing, including the EZRUN 3656 motor and also their WP-SC8 speed control, waterproof speed control right here. So in today's episode, I just wanted to cover some of the major components of a radio control car, because I've gotten a lot of questions from friends in terms of, hey, I'm new to the sport or the hobby, or I'm interested in getting to the hobby. What are some of the things that I should know about? So I like this chassis just because everything is pretty open and exposed here. So we have the motor, as we mentioned before, and this is a brushless motor, so you'll notice that it has 3 wires coming out of it. A regular brush setup like we have over here. This is a stock Titan 12T from Traxxas. These brush motors only have 2 wires, and these are a lot cheaper. This is maybe 10, 12 bucks or $15 versus the brushless motor, which is probably about $50 or so, $30 to $50 or more. And the benefit of the brushless is that they are a lot more efficient and a lot more powerful. So you'll run a lot faster as well as a lot longer. To go along with that, you do need a speed control, right? So that's what this is over here, and that controls the motor. It takes the signals from the receiver, which is in this receiver box here, right, and basically translates the signals from your transmitter to the receiver, and those signals go out to the speed control to control how fast the vehicle is going to go when you want to brake, etc. And of course, the speed control is attached through these larger wires to the battery. So this is a LiPo or lithium polymer battery. A little bit more expensive than the nickel metal hydrides that come with ready-to-run kits or whatnot, but definitely a lot more powerful and allow you to run a lot longer. So we do have the receiver box here. I can open this up as well just to show you guys what's in here, but just a tiny little receiver here, and that has another wire, so 2 wires coming, or 2 sets of wires coming out, one to the speed control and the other to the servo, the steering servo here. So let me just tilt the truck this way. So this is the steering servo. So a servo just essentially translates signals from the receiver, again from your transmitter, over to turning left and right, so through a series of levers and pivots and whatnot, that servo is going to turn these wheels. Right, so those are the basic electronic components of a radio control car. Of course, you have the car components, right? You have the shocks, you have the tires, the wheels, the chassis, the bumpers and whatnot. We've actually I have a blown shock here. We were just doing some jumping, and this is a common problem for Traxxas plastic shocks here, is just having that shock cap kind of disconnect itself from the rest of the shock body, and you get a whole bunch of messy fluid all over the place. So we're going to go ahead, get that cleaned up and replaced or refilled with some new silicone shock oil and get it back on the road. Just some of the more of the mechanical components here. So attached to the motor is your pinion gear, right, the small one. So this is always made out of metal here, and then you have the spur gear, which connects to the transmission, right? So this is usually larger, and it can be made out of plastic or metal. And then you'll see here that there's this disc mechanism. Usually you have some sort of slipper clutch, we call it, so just to buffer the shock from the motor through the transmission, right? So the transmission lasts longer. You have this slipper clutch mechanism, which you can loosen or tighten just to provide some buffer, some slippage, right? So these electric motors provide instant on torque, so a lot of power coming at once, and you need some sort of buffer in there, or else the gears will just chew themselves up or strip themselves. All right, and just taking a look at the underside of this vehicle. So again, the the servo here, we have a little guard over it, but there's a servo saver here, like that little thing in blue here, which we've actually upgraded on this car. And this is you're just protecting the servo because it is a little motor there with some gears in it, right? That turn the steering, right? The servo saver's point is to buffer, protect that servo from the shock when you hit something with the wheels or tires, or when you jump or just hit anything. That servo saver is going to save the gears of the servo by absorbing the shock. So that's about it for our first overview of this truck. We'll take a look at different trucks as well. This is a four-wheel drive model, so coming out of the transmission you will see two drive shafts, right? One going to the front, one going to the back, and these go into differentials, which control the power from left to right wheels, right? So you can still have power being applied when you're going through a turn. So that's essentially it for this truck. We'll again take a look at more various other models like two-wheel drive as well from various manufacturers, and kind of do a compare and contrast of things that work well, things that don't on various platforms. But just want to thank you guys for watching. Follow us on Facebook at Racing2Learn and also on YouTube. Thank you.